Hello and welcome back to the Common Colt Podcast, a Colts podcast with real takes, no clickbait. I'm Josh Hudgens, the guy on the left, and that's Dan Hertzler, the guy on the right. How's it going, Dan?
I'm doing good, man. The Colts are not in the Super Bowl, but we got some big-time super news. It sounds, hey, if you were watching our podcast a few days ago, we talked a little bit about Saturday, but at the end, we told you, hey, number one guy we think is going to happen, Shane Steichen, the offensive coordinator of the Eagles, was going to be the new head coach for the Colts. Gosh, it sounds like it's a done deal. What are you thinking?
Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, it's the day of the Super Bowl. The news comes out that the Colts are targeting Shane Steichen. Adam Schefter says that he seems to get the drop on major Colts news. I don't know how he pulls that off every time, but he said the Colts have informed their other candidates that they're going to move forward with Shane Steichen. We give one-word reactions to big Colts news. My one word is hopeful. I'm optimistic. I'm thinking that, you know what? We get a young, innovative guy who's developed a solid offense, a creative offense there in Philadelphia, and I'm just hopeful. How are you feeling?
I'm just going to say, finally, we get to move on, and it's finally exactly what you said. It's a young, innovative guy. Hey, we're ready to move on from the Frank Reich era. He did some good things, seemed like a good guy, but it just got stale with the veteran quarterbacks, with the kind of the same old stuff over and over again. We're getting a young guy who, you know, when you look at the Eagles offense this year, I believe third in scoring offense, third in total yards. They took Jalen Hurts, who was on the scout team 3 years ago, developed him, got him playing better every single year, exactly what the Colts are going to need to do. They're going to need to get a quarterback, a young one, develop him. To me, this is finally the right decision, the right move. I'm super excited about this decision.
Yeah, it's interesting. And guys, I want you to, if you can, take a moment and subscribe to our channel. We're on the path to 1,000, and it would mean a lot if you did. And comment what your one word is and what you think about this move. But we're pretty optimistic. I mean, when you think about Shane Steichen, you think about a guy who's under 40. You think about a guy who's gone to Philadelphia. And I get that Jalen Hurts is a really good quarterback, but he's taken part in the development and the play calling. And a lot of people kind of outside the Eagles look at Jalen Hurts as a guy who's been aided immensely. And so getting a guy who's been a crucial part of that, I think, is huge for the Colts when you know that we're going to get a young quarterback here and we're going to need that same help on maybe a CJ Stroud type or whoever that may be. I see creative play calling. We're going to see it tonight in the Super Bowl, where we've seen it all throughout the season. I think this guy is somebody who late in the game we've kind of tracked. I was looking at Brian Callahan, and I think it's interesting. This Colts search has been a long search. It's been a very thorough search. They haven't gone after the big fish in like a Sean Payton or even a DeMeco Ryans. They've done a very well thought out search. And I just found it interesting that even though I personally wanted Brian Callahan, the Cardinals interviewed him, the Colts interviewed him, they turned him down. Other teams didn't really even give him the time of day. And I think that is a little telling. He had Joe Burrow, and we don't know how this guy interviewed, similar to Eric Bieniemy over with the Chiefs. You don't know what these guys are like behind the scenes. So it's interesting that the Colts went with Shane Steichen, who maybe not as well known of a guy as some of these other candidates.
Yeah, when you think of the Eagles, though, they're a little closer to the Colts than we maybe would first think about when you think about offensive line, defensive line. Right now, I know again we know that the Colts offensive line wasn't up to the top tier that they should have been this past season, but we still think they're capable of it. Their defensive line is strong. You look at Jonathan Taylor as a running back, and so if you add a head coach who's innovative, you add a number one quarterback, a number one receiver, all of a sudden, this Colts team starts moving from picking top 5 to potential playoff again, where we think that they really can be. And so I think Colt Nation, man, we need to get excited about this. I know we've got kind of past taste with Josh McDaniels and all that kind of nonsense and all the train wreck that is. I see this as a done deal. I don't think they would tell the other candidates what we're getting the reports are now that they're moved on, if they didn't know this was just a matter of signing the paper and wait for the ink to dry. I expect Monday, Tuesday, this to be a done deal.
Yeah, and again, this is probably why this process has taken so long, because the Eagles kept winning. So they probably known for quite some time, to tell the truth. Guys, we're not going to drag this out, but I will say stay tuned to our show over the next several days. we're going to be hammering this in. We got some other fun topics we're going to talk about with Shane Steichen. So please, again, comment what you think about the move and subscribe to our channel. It would mean a lot as we're on the path to 1,000. Again, thank you so much for watching the Common Colt Podcast. And until next time, have a great day.